director now? Why not next month, next year? Why should you become a national sales director now? Why not in 5 years? Why what? Now. Why what? Now. Why what? Now. Well, I'd love to share with you some of my answers to the question why now from this past year. First, I stand on this stage representing a rich Mary Kay heritage. My Mary Kay story begins 25 years ago this August, when every other week, Executive Senior Sales Director Nadine Bowers had a nail appointment right before my mom's. After her appointment one August day, Nadine gave my mom a video about the Mary Kay business opportunity, and the woman on the video had bleach blonde hair, bright red lipstick, and my sister and I walked out of the kitchen where it was playing on the VCR, thinking that my mom had completely lost her mind. She was undeterred by our teenage attitudes, and the next day, Nadine Bowers sat in our living room while my mom drilled her with questions that were listed on a yellow legal pad, and she started her Mary Kay business that day. Today, you all know that my mom is the national sales director, but what you might not know is that I am actually the one who started her entire business. That's right. At the age of 10, I was the one who sat on her bed 25 years ago and put together her starter kit. Did anybody have the mauve starter kit? It had about 2,000 tubes. Yes. And it had all the masks and fresheners and moisturizers and foundations, and it was way more complicated than putting together our starter kits today. And my mom, she is really great at many things, but she's really not that great at detailed analytical jobs. So I like to think that without me, none of the consultants or sales directors in the Mark National area would even be here today. When my mom became a consultant, she not only became a part of Nadine's unit, but she also became a part of the Sandy Miller National area. She built her business under Sandy's leadership, and for 9 of my 11 years in Mary Kay, I too was raised in the Miller area. Sandy, Nadine, and all of her directors are my Mary Kay family. And here's the first reason that it was vital that we hit this #1 million goal. Sandy retires from her position as National Sales Director in January. So this seminar is her last, and guess what? Before last night, Sandy had never had a queen in any of the seminar courts come from her area. Not once. Now my mom, she was number 2, and she was number 3. Oh, she was 2 twice, I'm so sorry, but never number 1. Just saying. So why was the achievement of this goal so important now? Because last night I didn't just sit on that throne for me or for my unit. I sat there representing all of the leaders whose wisdom created the foundation of my business. Thank you to every one of you. I also know that this seminar arena and Hall A are filled with moms, with children of all ages. Many of you are moms who spend a great deal of time feeling very guilty about building a Mary Kay business while raising your children. And I'm sure that many of you are sitting here right now wondering if it was okay for you to come to Dallas, Texas for this seminar, which leads me to another answer to the question, why now? Now is important this year because I believe in something that author Mark Batterson describes as having a vision beyond your resources. I believe that God multiplies your efforts when you allow Him to do something through you that you could never do on your own. You got to see my 3 beautiful children and husband on stage last night, but let me describe to you a typical day at our house to help you understand why this vision for this year of my life was way beyond our family's resources. On a particular early spring day, Avery, my 9-year-old daughter, was sitting at the kitchen counter, wearing her practice gear for her year-round softball team, playing hot cross on her recorder. Anthony, her 7-year-old brother, was sitting on the bar stool next to her, yelling, so he could be heard over the hot cross buns, questions at me about the latest scientific book that he's reading, like, Mom, what's a Neanderthal? Are Neanderthals tall? What do they eat? Is Neanderthal their last name? I don't know. Andrew, our 2-year-old, had been quiet for a few minutes. Too quiet for someone who has been lovingly nicknamed Hurricane Andrew by his childcare provider. So I walked into the front foyer just in time to see him quickly unlock the deadbolt, turn around, smile, pull open the front door, and take off running into the sleet and snow in his socks, giggling the whole way. He made it all the way to the neighbors before I caught him in my socks. And as all of this was happening, my husband Ryan walked in from baseball practice, and they all screamed with joy, ran at him, jumped full speed onto arms and legs, and Ryan, he's such an incredible dad. And he's also a high school athletic director. And this year, he was the varsity baseball coach, which is really busy. So between our work responsibilities and our kids' activities, did I mention that there was no logical reason that we should have been able to reach our unit goals this year? The vision, way beyond our resources. And that is exactly where God is at his best. Woo. And I'll tell you that I loved being crowned the queen last night, but that celebration wasn't just for me. It was for Ryan and Avery and Anthony and Andrew too. My Mary Kay business is a family business. We're a team. And Ryan and I both work hard for our kids. And I know from watching my own parents build successful businesses that one of the greatest gifts that you can give your children is the opportunity to watch you passionately pursue a goal. So why now? Because as Stephen Furtick says, I'm not raising my kids to survive the world. I'm raising them to change it. And guess what? In order to do that, I have to change it first. Because if you haven't noticed yet, most kids do what you do and not what you say. They most often become who you are and not who you told them to be. And the next reason why now was so important this year is that I have the privilege of leading a most unbelievable group of women, and I want to share a story that illustrates just how awesome they are. Jenny West is a Mary Kay consultant who for years has used the profits from her product sales for the most meaningful things. She's given thousands of dollars to charities. She's given incredible gifts to her kids, like a surprise trip to Europe for her son and husband for her son's golden 16th birthday. She always has a project she's paying for with her Mary Kay profits. In February, while we were cleaning up after a meeting, I asked Jenny what she was saving her Mary Kay money for next. She explained that her 16-year-old daughter, Emma, who was born deaf in one ear and with significant hearing loss in the other, needed a new hearing aid immediately. Unfortunately, the hearing aid wasn't covered by their insurance. Jenny told me she'd been selling product and saving, but they still needed about $6,000. And a few other consultants overheard our conversation, and we all stopped and prayed together that right then and immediately God would meet this need for Emma. We left the meeting without saying much more, but a few days later I got a call from one of those consultants who simply said to me on the phone, "We have to do something for Emma." Together we figured out that if my unit and Offspring directors sold 400 satin handsets and donated our profits to Emma's hearing aid, that would raise $6,000. So on March 1st, we set out on a mission to sell 400 satin handsets for Emma. And what happened is more than any of us could have imagined. In only 3 weeks, we sold over 350 satin handsets. And even better, as we started selling sets to our customers and posting our mission online, people responded big time. Mary Kay consultants we didn't even know read her story on Facebook, sold satin handsets, and mailed checks. A local restaurant owned by one of our consultants had a spirit night and donated a portion of their sales to Emma's cause, raising over $500. And at Career Conference on March 22nd, just 3 weeks later, the Mary Kay staff gave us special permission to invite Jenny's kids and husband to come and hear my speech. And Jenny didn't know they were coming, or that we had collected the money. And there wasn't a dry eye in that crowd when I called Jenny and her entire family to the stage to present them with a check for $6,000. This is the power of the Mary Kay opportunity. It truly changes lives. And more importantly, this is the heart of the women I lead. So why now? Because I literally could not bear the thought of not representing these women on this 50th anniversary stage. I am so proud to be their leader. And I'd like to close with this message today. The final answer to the question, why now? See, all year long, I thought about why it was really important we finished this goal this year. But I also thought about the future. Why do we need to build our national area now? Why not later? Why now? And the main reason can be summarized in something that Pastor John Ortberg said at a leadership conference my mom and I attended a few years ago. His words shook me to the core of my being, and even today I can still rarely say them without getting tears in my eyes. And he said, "If you are a woman and you have been given the gift of leadership, then for God's sake, lead." If you are a woman and you have been given the gift of leadership, then for God's sake, lead. Lead. Build the business God is asking you to build now. Lead. Step into the next position on the Mary Kay career path now. Lead. Live in your God-given greatness now. Because I don't know about you, but at the end of my life, I want to stand before my Creator and hear Him say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Use the gifts and talents that I gave to you. I don't want Him to say, "Gosh, Amy, you sure did a great job of making your life look like everyone else's. I'm so glad you fit in and you weren't too uncomfortable that whole time." If you are a leader, you will not fit in. God did not design you to fit into this world. He designed you to change it. So today, I am boldly asking every leader under my influence to use their leadership gifts to their full potential. Because it is time to build our On Fire national area now. And Pearl Seminar, I am asking the same of all of you. If you are a woman and God has given you the gift of leadership, don't waste it. Today and throughout the entire seminar year, together, let's courageously lead now. Thank you so much.
Let's hit it again for Independent Executive Senior Sales Director, Kemp. And now,